You won't split.
Where we are now. Hi, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Good morning. We're in our advice section. Thank you for those who subscribe on our channel. We're now in 39,000 subscribers, and we're hoping by tomorrow we're gonna reach 40,000. Thank you. Yeah, so this letter is from Greg. Hi Terence and Beth, I am Greg. I found your channel via video recommendations and I'm glad I clicked your video because now I am your avid fan. I plan to retire in the Philippines and I want to live in farm like you got. Hopefully my little savings can allow me to purchase a small property where I can start my new life with new people. I've never been married and no plan to get married. I just want to enjoy life on what's Beth says remaining days. Laughing out loud. My plan is to raise pigs, chickens, cows, and carabao to help and provide livelihood in the locality. My question is foreigner not allowed to own land in the Philippines? If that's the case, what should I do? Please advise me, Greg. Advice, darling.
Well, as you said, you're not allowed to own land in the Philippines. So, what can we tell you? We can only tell you what other people have done. What other people have done is they've found someone that they can trust. We're not advocating this. We're just simply telling you what other people have done. They've found someone that they can trust, a Filipina or Filipino, and they've bought a piece of land through that Filipino, and then they've leased the land from the one that they've trusted, from the owner, what is legally the owner.
Yeah.
And what I've seen other people do is they take a lease out on the land for 50 years, and if you've come over here and you're at retirement age, that should probably be enough, unless you're a very, very lucky person. So that's what other people have done. You are adamant, of course, that you're not going to get married, and I accept that that's what you're saying, but we've had other people say this to us. In fact, one of our dear friends, Tracy, our Australian adventurer, he was absolutely adamant. He said, "No, I'm happy being single," and we actually made a joke about that, happy being single. And then, just by accident, he invited a lady out for dinner, and he told us, I said to her, "Look, no strings attached, let's just have dinner together." So he wasn't propositioning her for a one-night stand or anything. He just said, "I'd like to go out to dinner, would you like to join me?" And she did join him on that basis, and then afterwards he said, "Well, this has been good, would you like to join me again for dinner?" And from that he found the love of his life. So
yeah, so who knows, Sir Greg, that you will find someone that will give you spark. This cell phone is so noisy. I need to off this. Yeah, so who knows? When you came to the Philippines, you can meet your destiny, and about your problem that you want to, because I think a foreigner can own a condo, right?
yeah, you can own a condo.
Yeah, but we're not sure.
Well, because a condo doesn't a condo have a lease with it anyway, or
lease. So I think, but your question is, your concern is you want to live in the farm area where you can raise pig, because you cannot raise pigs and cow in the condo, right?
It will be very difficult. Yes.
So if you
apart from anything, the pigs really stink.
So I think if you have a family, friends that you treat as family and you can trust them, I think that's another options. What do you call that, Han? Circumcise the law. Well, is that the correct one, where supposedly the land should be owned by Filipino, but then seems that foreigner connected it, right?
Yes,
It's
you
that
can you can
I learned that from
circumcise.
Mbitsi.
You can circumcise the law.
No, there's a word on that from Mbitsi when we do about Mitch land, right?
Circumvent.
Yeah,
That was,
circumvent. Circumvent the law. You know?
and that
Because
wasn't very popular. A lot of people were outraged that that would happen. And actually, apparently, there are penalties if you do that. So,
it's
yeah,
not advisable.
you've got some choices to make there, and no doubt you will make them. What I would suggest is that rather than go for a very grand plan right from the very start, like pigs, goats, cows, catabows, that's an awful lot to bite off in one chew. So why don't you just come over here and rent a place
Yeah,
on a
just
short lease,
yeah,
have
just
fun, and meet people, make friends, connect, see if you actually want to live here. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
yeah, and at the same time, you don't want to when you visit to the Philippines and if it's your first time, don't buy right away property and then have because the another thing is you are not allowed to own land or property here in the Philippines because you're a foreigner, and it's very difficult if you buy a land and then you just the persons that what's the name that hold the property, right?
Yeah.
Is later on will turn back against you. So, you don't want to be a crying American or a crying foreigner, uh, sucking, no, soaking,
Sucking,
soaking, what do you call it, huh?
sucking.
Soaking because you will be betrayed, so that's another thing. So first, the best advice that we can give you, don't buy a property yet, try to come here for visit, explore, and maybe who knows, you could find a Filipino that you love to be with, and if
Yeah.
you want to buy a property when you got a girlfriend and you don't want to get married yet and you want to buy property, okay, and you think that, oh, I have a girlfriend now, I want to buy a property, just make sure, that you're in the right track, right? Because there's also other horror story about that. So as Terence said, uh, you can put a lease on it. Supposedly it's not advisable because it's
Circumcising the law.
circumventing the law, but just for your own protection, because that's what a lot of expat did. Lease signed by the attorney because it's your own. It's your own
Well,
protection as well.
if you're predicting that things could go wrong, and they can, what other expats have done is that they've met someone, and they've lived with them at least, and then they built a house, and then the horror story is that they built a house and then they've been given the elbow. They've you built the house and got the land organised. Now you can leave, even if you are 100 years old. We're not taking care of you. So that's the horror story. But then the other people who have predicted this, and it's the equivalent of a prenup agreement, where you say, well, what we'll do is we'll buy the land in your name, but at the same time that we buy it and I build a house, I have the right to stay there. So, and the way that you do that is by having a lease.
Yeah.
So you can't be gotten off the property. She can claim the property, but you will live your life out in that very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, in other words, for example, your boyfriend and girlfriend, and you you buy a property in the name of your girlfriend, right, or your wife. So in other words, if things not going wrong or not going right in your relationship, your girlfriend or your wife cannot sell that property because you are leasing it. So
Yeah.
So in other
You're
words,
the tenant, the long-term tenant.
even if it's not your own land, still you got protection on it. So again, better not to buy land, not to buy property right away when you came to the Philippines, because first the first thing you need to experience is where should I what do you call that? The first thing that you need to know is where should I love to live with? Should I be in
Yeah.
Cebu, Manila, Mindanao, Bohol, Dumaguete, you know? Because you don't want to buy a property in Bohol and then in couple of months, you visit Dumaguete and you said, I prefer Dumaguete. I want to sell my property in Bohol, you know? So, just
But he
make sure
has,
where you
yeah,
retire.
but he has said that he wants to be in a rural situation where he's got livestock.
Yeah,
And livestock to a great degree as well. A full livestock farm, for all I know, as to how you would describe it. But the point is that living in a certain place, and we know someone that's done this, bought a piece of land in the way that we're talking about through someone else, and then built a very nice house, but now is selling up because you need to be in a place that you really want to be. And this sounds like a no-brainer, I know, but people do think that they're going to be happy in a place, and then they realize they don't have any friends there. So that's another important part of living in a foreign country, is that you need to have a support group. And you can establish this if you're telling us, say, and lots of people do, well, we're thinking that we're going to retire somewhere in the Philippines in 3 years' time. Well, if you're going to do that, you can establish friends in certain areas. You can study up, you can study your geography, and you can find out which areas you think you would like. And then you can try to establish contacts in those areas that you would enjoy having. We had a friend, Brian, who came, and before he ever came, he was writing to us, and then when he sent his boxes, he sent them to our address. He already had a support group, so a support group of one. But then when he came, we introduced him to other people, and he's going to settle here permanently now. And so I would suggest that you do that. I think that a support group of people who are like-minded,
yeah,
is important.
yeah. In other words, make sure that you're surrounded with the people that will bring you up and not bring you down.
Yes.
Because it's important. The support group. It's important that the people
Support you.
Yeah, the people that surrounded you will support you and not wrestling you like a pig. Okay? So please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day, because it's difficult to wrestling in a mad pig. Have a good day and God bless.